All right. Welcome, everybody, to a special public safety meeting for Spokane City Council since we didn't have our normal meeting last week. And Ms. Councilmember Cathcart, are you leading the meeting today?
I think that's the plan.
Okay. Well, welcome. We're going to vote tonight to officially install you as Chair of Public Safety, but why don't you take it away from here?
All right. Thanks, Council President. Well, welcome everybody to our Public Safety Committee meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. Let's see. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from December 6th?
So moved.
Got a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Aye. And opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Let's see here. I didn't get any notices of any consent items being removed for discussion. Councilman Kinnear, I don't know if anybody had reached out to you. Nope. Okay.
We're good.
And this is going to be a pretty quick meeting, I think, this morning. Not a lot on our agenda. And there is one item related to the emergency shelter that I believe has been postponed till our study session on Thursday to give folks more time to give us a clear update there. So we will start off then with our K-9 update from Sergeant Spearing.
Thank you. So this is an update it'll be a year end for 2021. The last update I gave you, I think, was right at the beginning of November. So the last part of 2021 is only 2 months long. During that time, we had 3 K-9 contacts. That brings our 2021 year total to 987 times the dogs were deployed, 324 people located, and of that, 14 people were contacted. Again, the contact ratio is contacts divided by captures. That brings our unit total to 4.3%. And again, the 20% being the federal standard, 30% being the limit. But again, we review every single one. Obviously, most of those, interestingly enough, of the 14 contacts were call-outs. So they were outside of the K-9 unit's working hours, and they were called in for that specific reason. In 2021, the deployments are actually lower than they were for 2020. We did have a handler retire. That handler only had 63 deployments for the year before that they retired, so they weren't adding a whole lot to that. When a handler retires, the team is disbanded. We have our new handler set to start their school this coming Sunday and hope to have all 6 teams back on the street by the end of March. We're also able to incorporate Shield Force into our team. So that's a mobile app that runs off of our department's computer-aided dispatch system. That mobile app we added to 2 of the handlers just to test it. It runs off of their cell phone, and it allows officers, supervisors, and most importantly, dispatch to live view the track as it's occurring. An example is this last week, we tracked a robbery suspect from near Northtown Mall up through Franklin Park, located numerous evidentiary items, including cash along the way. It's nice, especially in something like Franklin Park, where you don't have a lot of geographical areas to alert dispatch to where you are, that they can just look at the map and see the little dot moving around because the cell phone is in the handler's pocket. So we're continuing to test that. We've had a lot of success and may eventually want to incorporate that with all 6 handlers. So again, that's our recap for 2021, and happy to take questions as always.
Okay, any questions for Sergeant Spearing? Not seeing any. One quick question, Sergeant. I don't know if you know. I'm wondering about our how is our program like with bomb sniffing dogs, for example, or explosive sniffing dogs? Do we have dogs that are capable of that, or do we share those resources with the county? I'm kind of curious what the situation is there.
So currently, the county is the only one regionally that has a bomb dog. That is a specific discipline that is not part of the initial training. So the 400-hour training that a new handler will go through, for us, it's 6 apprehension dogs when we're fully staffed. The county has a detection dog. That's not something we currently have, so we're able to use them. Border Patrol has one as well as State Patrol. And so if those needs are there, we do have to reach outside to grab that.
And is that dog at the county, is that dog set to retire soon?
Yes, sir. So that is JP Melton is the handler for that dog. He's also a master trainer for detection services, and he is probably going to be retiring soon.
So I know there's obviously a lot of reasons why you would want to have a resource like a bomb sniffing dog, but I know there's also kind of an economic reason as well. When you have big events coming through the arena and things like that, a lot of times it's a requirement for large artists to have something like that present. And so is there a plan either at the county level or local or here in the city to bring another dog on board once that dog is retired?
That's something that I've had discussions with my senior leadership, and that's definitely something that we're aware of as being a potential to go that route. We would like to go that route, and it's looking at the need and the ability to bring other things in is why that hasn't gone forward from this point, because there is not a gap or a lack or anything that is created putting the community at risk. So my leadership is well aware of that potential and where we go from there, and prep to deal with that as we need to.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Councilmember Bingle.
So does the county plan to replace that dog and have somebody in that position, or is this something that would be recommended to the city to fill this position?
It's not quite, and I get the concern there. The city is using the county for that resource and has to reimburse that when it's used for city purposes. So I'm not sure that it's a plan for theirs. I can't speak to what their plan is. Even if they didn't go there, again, we have other resources within the region to be able to bring in. So there's not going to be a gap in the ability to fill that need. But I can't speak for what they plan to do.
Okay. Any other questions on this or canines in general? Okay. Well, thank you very much, Sergeant Spearing. Appreciate the update and the information. So then we'll go to our staff requests. Looks like we've got a MOU regarding supplemental funding for the Way Out shelter. Mike Ormsby?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. So this recommendation goes back to a discussion that we had at the council level beginning probably back in last June, and the council approved a resolution in late October, which approved basically a $3.5 million commitment for the Way Out shelter over the next 5 years, of which $2.5 million was operating funds that each the city and the county committed. Separately, at the regional governance level, the city had talked about assisting the initial startup costs of the Salvation Army in the shelter until up to another $1 million through the end of December of this year. And so the council approved that. We then set out to work with the Salvation Army on a memorandum of understanding about how that would function. And this memorandum of understanding is what the Salvation Army, they've agreed to the form, and we've worked on it now for probably the last 4 months. It takes effect the beginning of January of this year. I would say, though, given the occupancy of the Way Out shelter, I think that much of this money is not going to be spent because the operating expenses are down. But a year ago or 9 months ago, they weren't sure how startup costs would incur, and everyone at the regional governance level, as well as the Continuum of Care Board, wanted to make sure this facility became operational. So this is to facilitate that happening. It's an up to amount. It needs to be justified on a quarterly basis by the Salvation Army, beginning at the end of the first quarter of this year, which would be by April 20th, they need to get a report and then be prepared to sit down and talk with leadership about what they've done, why the expense was incurred, before any money is transferred to them. So we would recommend consideration of this. I think the council will be asked this afternoon to consider suspending the rules just to have this as a first reading on today's agenda. So I'd be happy to answer any questions now, and I'll be available again this afternoon if, in fact, the council suspends the rules to include it.
Okay. Do we have questions for Mike on this topic? So, Mike, are we talking about putting am I hearing right that we're putting additional dollars into the way out shelter? Is that what the ask is?
It could be additional dollars, Councilman, but the Salvation Army has to justify that this is in addition to the $1 million that the city, county, and Spokane Valley have committed. So it's an add to because it's a program that they had not done in Spokane before and they just didn't know. So yes, it could be up to $1 million, and it may be nothing. At this point, I don't think any bill for the first quarter would be forthcoming from the Salvation Army based on the occupancy to date. But it would be potentially additional money, yes.
Councilmember Bingle?
Yeah, and I think Mr. Ormsby just got there, but that shelter, is it open? How many people are in it right now?
It is open. They've had some struggles on startup. I think as of middle of last week, they had 10 people there. They've had some staffing problems, and they expect to start more staff this week. And so the plan after this week is to add up to 5 new individuals a week until they get up to 60. And 60 is the targeted number.
Other questions?
Councilmember Cathcart.
Yeah.
So Mike, this MOU is similar with our other partners in the Way Out Shelter with additional potential resources for startup, or is that just with us? I missed that part.
That is just with the city. And this is money that the city had previously set aside, expecting the shelter to open 2 years ago. And so the $500,000 has been reserved every year for the last 2 years. So we actually have $1 million reserved in the CHHS budget, and that is the money that the city committed to spend up to in case the operating costs ended up being greater than $1 million a year. And at this point, it doesn't look like they will, but the concern was it might. And so the city stepped up to do that. The county's contribution to that, if you will, is, and it was CARES dollars. The county committed CARES dollars and additional funds for renovation of the building. It certainly doesn't reach the $1 million that the city has committed, but the county has made some contribution as well. This is a separate commitment in addition to the $500,000 a year we made for the next 5 years.
Mike, are the other
at the end of this year?
Are the other portions of the building, the basement, are they being actively used right now for isolation?
Mike, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. I don't know. That's what they were set up to do with the regional health district, but I don't know whether they're actively being used or not. But I can certainly follow up on that and get an answer to you probably today.
Because I guess where I'm going is, is there an opportunity to expand the program so that we can move more people in there, which might free up capacity elsewhere in the system as well, assuming we have people ready to take that step.
I'll check. I think the program that the Salvation Army had presented to the Continuum of Care was for up to 60, and so that's what they've built their budget on. I suspect if they had space, they might be open to that discussion. That's probably going to be a little while away, but let me find out about the use for isolation because I don't know. I know there are some people in isolation now. I just don't know where they're being housed, but I can find out.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any more questions? I am not seeing any, and that's the only other agenda item that we have this morning. Like I said, short meeting. So I don't know if there's anything else for the good of the order that anybody would like to broach. I am not seeing anything, so we'll give everybody back their morning, and we can.
It's a great start for the new chairman.
That's
to have
right.
A 20-minute meeting.
Happy to chair a nice short meeting for everybody. So we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting, and we'll see people back this afternoon for our urban experience. But for public safety, we'll be back next month.
Great. Thank you.